Hey guys, my name is Curtis Brooks and I am a transformational speaker, and I want to just come on live here. This is my first time doing Facebook Live and talk about your words and just words in general, and just the power of words and really what we're probably not understanding about words. So I will not be on long. Again, this is kind of like an impromptu here, and just want to do something a little different on today. Again, words. If I can move my big old head here. Words typically are like sources. They are not like sources, they are sources. And what we don't understand a lot of times is that we understand that food is a source. We see food as a source, and we see words, we see food as a source, and we don't quite understand that words are a source as well. And so what I have drawn on this diagram here is that food and words are a source, and ultimately we get resources from the food and from the words. And what we get from the food, as most of us know, is that we get vitamins, we get vitamin A, B, C, D, and so forth. And from the words, we get the definition of the word. More so than a definition of the words, we get the image of the word. Because with words come a concept that we must place in our minds. And so again, with words we get more than just the definition. We get the image of the word. So as far as food, we get vitamin A, B, C, D, blah 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 blah, and so on and so forth. All those nutrition that will take care of the body. But for the words, what do we have that takes care of the mind? For the mind, we have words, and from the words, they are concepts. The words themselves, yet their definition, we have the definition of the word, but we also have the concept of what the mind likes to conceptualize. And that is the job of the mind, is to conceptualize things, is to put things in order, similar to like a computer. And with, again, food, we have the vitamins, we have all those things that take care of the body for our source, a source of nutrition for the body. But what takes care of our mind? And ultimately, what takes care of the heart and all those things that are associated with our inner being, if you will, they are words. Words take care of this. See, here's the power. This is the interesting thing about the power of words. Words have the ability to discourage you. Words have the ability to encourage you. And so, essentially, the words are a source, much like food is a source. And from the words, from food, we have, again, a source, and we get the resources, the vitamins and things that take care of our body. But then now we have words. What takes care of the mind, folks? Many of us are going after things, and we think that if I have more cars, if I have more watches, if I have more of this and more of that, that's going to be that's going to be all that I need. But in truth, if you don't have a word on the inside, the word is what sustains everything, folks. And this is the truth. This is the truth. No BS. If food can take care of the body as a source, again, a source of nutrition, if food can take care of the body, what takes care of the mind, folks? We have to think about this. What takes care of the mind? And it's words that take care of the mind. Words have the ability to lift you up or to drop us off on a dead-end road, if you will. So we have to consider that words and its definition. And if we plant a seed, for example, if you plant a seed, an apple seed, you're going to get apples. And no matter how much you may hope that you may get oranges, if I plant this seed, if I plant this handful of apple seeds, I'm going to get apples. It doesn't matter how much you might think that you're going to get oranges. The fact is, if you have apple seeds, you're going to get apple seeds. The fact is that if you're eating a certain kind of food, your body will extract the nutrients and the nutrition from this particular food. Again, what takes care of the mind, folks? These are things that we must think about. And all too often we are so misled by advertising, the marketers. And they're just doing their job. Everyone has a job to do, and I get that. But we must do our job to look further into our own sustainability in life. And our sustainability is not just food, folks. It's not just food. Unfortunately, this is what we fall into because we don't understand the power of our words. We don't understand that everything that you will need mentally, emotionally, and physically is in this word. I understand that food takes care of the body. Again, we get our nutrients, the nutrition, all those things that take care of the body, that keeps us alive and alert and things like that. I get that. But we also need the word, folks. The word has everything in it. And I say that because when we look at the word, we have the definition of words. It doesn't matter what word it is. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if your word is encouragement, if your word is discouragement. Each word has a definition. And with that definition, much like with the apple seeds, when you plant those apple seeds, you will eventually get apples. And the only way you get apples is that it takes pressure to get those apples, folks. It takes pressure. And most of us don't want to go through anything in life. Most of us want to just see it's just so easy. Oh, I just do this and I do this. No, it's a lot more than that. And again, we plant the apple seeds, we eventually get apples. But we never talk about the fact, how long does it take those apples to grow? The pressure that those seeds are under due to the water, the seeds are being watered by the earth, or if you have grown your own apple trees or whatever the case might be. You're watering those seeds, and eventually the earth begins to put pressure on it. The ground, the soil begins to put pressure on it and to extract eventually a plant, and that plant turns into a tree eventually, and you have an apple tree and perhaps an orchard. I don't know. But it's the same thing with words, folks. It is the same thing with words. And this is so powerful because ultimately, much like the food is a source and is a resource of nutrients as nutrition, words are a source and is a resource as well. And that resource is encouragement. That resource could be discouragement. It can go both ways now. Understand, it can go both ways. There's always a negative and a positive. We can sometimes eat food that are empty of calories, empty of any kind of nutritional value. But nevertheless, it's a source. It's still a source, folks. Food is a source. We understand it. And we also understand, hopefully, that words are a source as well. And ultimately, the words that we speak become a resource because it has everything in the word, much like if you plant the apple seed in the soil with pressure, over time and pressure. That's where you're going to get your resources, from time and pressure. So with time and you taking care of what needs to be taken care of, and you're going to get your resource. The resource will be eventually apple tree, but the resource in the sense of the words will be the very definition of the word. We begin to exemplify that definition of that word. And it takes pressure, folks, to come into the word success. We say, let's write the word success. The word success. How do I get into success? And it's just kind of a just a random question. How do I get into this? How do I get the resources? How do I get the resources out of the word success? It takes focus. Focus will allow me to get everything out of success, to get the resources. Much like with the food, the body extracts the nutrients and the nutritional value from the food. This is a source. So how do I see words? Words are a source, but how do I get the resources out of this word here as success? I'll tell you how. You must, one, have perhaps a mentor or a coach. In order to get the resources out of this word success, in order to get the resources out of the word discouragement or encouragement, it doesn't matter what the word is. In order to extract the value, the value of that word, much like the body extracts the nutritional value from food as its source, eventually we get the resources. In order to extract the value that takes care of us mentally, emotionally, and physically, because this is happening on the inside. This is happening on the inside. And when this takes care on the inside, outwardly, we eventually exemplify success. So success takes focus, much like in a sense where we would plant the apple seed and the inner workings, all the stuff that's going on underneath the soil is being taken care of. We don't have to take care of it. But in a sense, we do, because we have to water it. We have to nurture it. We have to make sure the bugs or the pests are kept away from it. And it's the same with the words. Because life, the pressures of life will try to come against your version of success, folks. The pressures of life will try to come against your version of success, much like a pest would try to come against, or the pests or animals would try to destroy a person's garden or something, or apple tree or orchard. But the issues of life will try to come against success. And therefore, we end up losing our focus. Your focus is what's going to allow you to eventually get success. This is your focus. And when you take your eyes off of your own version of what success is, you have the past, you have the animals, you have the issues of life that are bearing down on your hopes and your dreams. And so this is the reason why we have the word food as a source. We understand food as a source, but we also have to understand that words are a very source of things that will take care of our mental, emotional, and physical bodies. Folks, there are a lot of things when you plant a seed, when you plant an apple seed, or just seeds in general to grow flowers, doesn't matter. When you plant seeds to grow some kind of vegetable or plant, there are a lot of things that are going on underneath that we don't see. And if the seeds could speak, no, it sounds kind of ridiculous, but if the seeds could speak, what kind of pressure would the seeds tell us that they were under? And likewise with us, folks, as human beings, as people, if we could speak, what kind of pressure would we tell the world that we were under, and trying to extract that tree and trying to get to success? What would be our story, folks? What would be our story that we would tell the world in regards to the pressure that we were under and trying to eventually obtain success? Much like the seed, folks, the seeds that we would plant, and again, just an example, the seeds that we would plant as it relates to planting a tree, apple tree, orange tree, or whatever the case it might be, much like in that same fashion, folks, it takes pressure to get to success. It takes pressure. So we have to be careful who our role models are. We have to be careful who our role models are, because in most cases, we like to imitate our role models, but only God knows what they've gone through to get to success. And we can find ourselves trying to imitate their journey of success, and it quite doesn't line up with what we're doing or where we're going. So remember, keep your eye on your own prize, folks. I know there's a lot of stuff going on in life. There's just a lot of things out there, but keep your eye on your own prize. Keep your eye on your own prize. Stay focused, my friend. Stay focused. That's how you're going to get success. And a lot of people, honestly, a lot of people are talking about, 5 ways to do this, 5 ways to do this. That's great. But in order to have true success, folks, you must plant the seed as if you were planting a apple seed or a orange seed for an orange grove, or apple seed for an orchard, if it's not, or whatever the case might be. Any kind of seeds, you plant them, obviously, and you must plant success in the heart of your mind. And I say the heart of your mind, yes, I know exactly what I'm saying. And the heart of your mind. You must plant success. You must see success as if you see a visual seed in your hand. You must see it, folks, because if you don't see it, you lose focus. And when you lose focus, you've got to go back through the ranks of, essentially go back through the ranks and figure out, where did I fall off at? Where did I lose my focus at? Because ultimately, in order to get success, you've got to focus. And that is the pressure that the seed needs, folks. The seed of your dream, the seed of your hope, the seed of all that you would want to achieve must be located or achieved through focus. And if you're not focusing, folks, if you got your eye on someone else's prize, if you got your eyes on what they've done, and yes, I get it, I totally understand it. We need examples of success because most of us don't have those examples. I haven't always had those examples of success either. But I know that there are lots of people out there who are doing very successful. And yes, I do look to them, and I do read their periodicals and different things, their blog posts that they may have read, but I still have my own seed of hope, though. They're just guides, if you will. Because eventually, the way it is, life is, eventually they get old and someone has to take their place. And so, that being the case, guess what? Why not you? Why not you take their place? So, prepare yourself, folks. Prepare yourself. Understanding that food, yes, as a source. And also, your words are a source. And eventually, from the source, we get the resources, as in the food, the nutrients, the nutrition, the vitamin A, vitamin B, and so forth, potassium, all those things that take care of the body, that keep us looking healthy. But again, the words are a source as well, and it keeps our mind sharp. Because ultimately, the biggest reason why we're not obtaining success is because, one, we lose focus. And when we lose focus, it doesn't matter how you lost it, but it's a distraction. It's ultimately a distraction, folks. And how you're going to obtain success is to stay focused here on your own seed. Use those individual celebrities or even information that I'm sharing with you. Use it as a guideline. That's what it's about. Use it as a guideline. You don't have to necessarily fall in love with it, but use it as a guideline, folks. We're falling in love with the information, and yet when the information changes, guess what happens? We're stuck. So get unstuck, and again, use the information as a guideline, as a tool. And that's a whole other thing too. Words as a tool. That's a whole nother thing there, and perhaps I'll go in there, discuss that later on. But words are a tool as well. But too often we fell in love with food. We fell in love with food. And we ultimately have fell in love with things. And wondering why we're unfulfilled in some way. Wondering why life is so mundane and it doesn't fill me up. It doesn't do anything for me. Because eventually, folks, guess where the food goes? The food goes down the toilet. It's just the way it is. But this here, folks, when you understand the words as a source, the words that you and I speak daily, be it negative or positive, there's still a definition that comes from those words and its source and its resources that will permeate our mind, if you will. Much like the food gives us a source, a food is a source, and ultimately the resource of nutrients, vitamin A, B, C, D, whatever, and the words as a source as well, and ultimately the resource that takes care of our mind. And ultimately, I started to say, I got distracted a little bit, but in thought, but ultimately is that what happens, folks, is that when we're not focused, we, of course, will lose sight on this. And we have the propensity to go backwards, if you will. Because so much of life requires our focus. And when we're not focused, it's any man's game. It's any man's opportunity to come in to really take what you worked for. Most of you know, like I know, you have to be on your toes. And when you understand this, the words as your source and ultimately your resources, man, how can you go wrong? This here, when you deeply understand the words that we speak and its definition, and see, so often we are trying to change the definition of these words, folks. And when we change the definition of words, we get something completely different. It's kind of like what I said earlier. If I give you a handful of apple seeds, you plant the apple seeds. It doesn't matter how much you may hope that they're oranges, but you have apple seeds in your hand. It doesn't matter how much you desire for those apple seeds to become anything else other than apples. At the end of the day, once you plant those apple seeds and you take care of them, you are going to get apples, folks. Much like in a sense with the definition of words, we too often are trying to change them. We're trying to change them. We're trying to get something that we think we should get. But if you sow the right words, if you choose your words correctly, if you choose your words wisely, if you choose your words strategically, purposely, with intent, folks. Intent comes from the heart. When you choose your words with intentions, can't speak here. But when you choose your words with intentions, folks, you get the source, you have the source, and then you can get the intentional resources that you need for your situation, folks. But understand, it does not take away the pressure that you're going to need in order to extract the very contents of the word that you have sown purposefully. The word that is intently sown or sowed, meaning the word that you have the words that you have spoken with intentions, meaning that I'm asking for something with a purpose. And I know that this word means this. Once I take my hands off of it, I can see the word meaning exactly for which I have spoken it. It means this. And when I speak something different, when I speak a word and I'm expecting something different, it's the same thing as planting those apple seeds and expecting oranges. Folks, it is the same thing. The words themselves mean what they mean. So we have to, in order to find success, we have to speak words in which they are designed for, folks. This is awesome stuff, folks. This is awesome stuff, folks, because the words are designed for a reason. And if you speak something differently, and if you speak one thing and yet you're expecting something differently, that makes absolutely no sense. I'm sorry, folks. That makes absolutely no sense. If I want a glass of water, why would I ask for a sandwich? I know it sounds kind of comical, but it's the reality, folks. We're speaking words which we don't quite understand. And I'm not saying we're ignorant, so ignorant to the fact, but we don't understand that there is a deeper intrinsic value or understanding to the words that we speak. You can't sow something and get something different, folks. And what happens? Here's the awesome thing. When we speak words and we get something different, you know what happens? You know what that means? That means that we have left it. That means that we have dug a hole in the ground. This is my hole here. And we planted the seed in the ground and we have absolutely left it. That's what that means. That means if we speak words and we're not getting what we are expecting, that means that we have spoken, we have dug a hole essentially, dropped the word in there, dropped the word is the seed. We're talking about a seed. Because this word being a seed is going to eventually grow and be the very success that you are desiring. Much like the apple seeds being planted. If you focus and take care of them, they will become you will get an apple tree, eventually apple orchard, I don't know, but whatever, you'll get something. The point of it is that if you focus, you're going to get your success. You're going to get it, folks. There's no two ways around it. You have to get success if you focus. If you take care of the words that you plant, the words are like seeds. If you take care of the words that you have planted in this earth, the words that you have sown, the words that you have spoken, if you take care of these words here, folks, much like in a sense that we take care of our bodies through food, exercise, health regimens, and different things of that nature, if we take care of our bodies as when we eat food, what do you think could happen if we really understood the power behind words? If we took care of ourselves with words, if we spoke words intentionally for what we are desiring. Not that I'm hoping for this, but I'm going to ask for something completely different. That makes not a bit of sense. But if we speak words with intention, folks, you get what you're asking for. If you want success, you have to speak success, folks. That's the bottom line. There's no 20 ways to do this. It's one way, folks. If you want success, you have to speak words to success. If you want to see success grow up from the changes and just through just through time, if you will, you're going to be transformed. There's no doubt about that, folks. Because remember, I said it takes pressure to get this, much like it takes pressure for the apple seeds to grow eventually. And again, if we knew what the apple seed, again, it sounds comical, but if the apple seeds could speak, what do you think they would say? And I've already mentioned this earlier, worth saying it again. But if the apple seeds could speak, what do you think they would say? Perhaps it would be something similar to the pressure that we're under from time to time. I would venture to say that it would probably be something of the same pressure that that each of us, myself included, that we all deal with from time to time in life. Some more so than others, but even that, there's the answer for that. The reason why others are dealing with pressure more so than others, it's because of the words that they're speaking. That's why. Words are powerful, folks, and we don't see them worth anything. And so that's the reason why we'll speak something, we'll plant a seed, and then we'll just discard it. We'll leave it. And think nothing of it. Because it doesn't mean anything to me. Because the only thing that we value is the thing that's tangible. But I'm here to say, folks, wow, this is awesome. I'm here to say, before something becomes tangible that you can see it in your hand, it's a concept, folks. It's something in here. It is a word, it is a hope, it is a dream first, before it becomes tangible. It is intangible. It's something that you cannot see at first. But you believe it in your heart. You believe this word. You take care of this word much in the same way you would take care of the apple seed It is through pressure that you get success, folks. It is through pressure that you achieve any amount of success. It is through pressure that you're going to accomplish your dream, folks. There's no three ways. There's no two ways. There's just one way, folks. You've got to build up your own vocabulary first and foremost. Build up your vocabulary. I know it sounds ridiculously simple, folks. The truth of the matter is, it's not that difficult. That's just how it is. The world has made it difficult for you and I to think that it's difficult. But in truth, all you need is a good word in your heart to take care of that word, much like you're taking care of the apple seed. That's something that's something tangible that you can see. And even though we don't see this word, if you focus on success, what does success mean to you? If you focus on encouragement, you get encouragement, folks. Again, this is not 3 steps to do this. Jump up 6 times and you're going to be successful. No, folks. One way. You speak the word and you take care of it. You guard the word with your heart. Guard the word. Guard what's spoken in your heart. Guard your dream. Guard your hope. And eventually, it's going to guard you. It's going to take care of you. That's what dreams are about. We may not have it now, but that's the awesome thing about dreams. Because if I take care of it now, the reward will be greater later. Because now I'm going to reap a harvest. I'm going to reap a harvest of success now. Through all the hard work that you and I have put into our dreams and trying to accomplish whatever it may be, we believed in a word. We held on to it against all that life will try to come against. Illness in the body, our minds, or people trying to tell us, oh, you're never going to accomplish it. You're not going to do that. But against all those things, folks, if we hold on to the word, folks, this is a promise. Not that I can make to you, but I know in my own life. If you hold on to this word, you will reap your harvest. And that is a promise. But you must remain focused, folks. Focus is the pressure that we must place on the seed here. Focus is the pressure that we must place on the seed, folks. I apologize if the world has made it those crafty and cunning marketers, if they've made life seem so difficult for you, and just the reality of it is that it's not difficult. It takes time now. Don't get me wrong. It takes time. Much like if you plant an apple seed today, you're probably not going to have apples by the end of this week. And in the same fashion, if we plant the word here, if we speak this word, if we sow this word, guess what? It's going to take time. And you know the reason why it takes time? I'm going to wrap it up here after this, but this is awesome here. But the reason why it's going to take time, folks, is because the pressure that's under. This seed here, this is it. I'm going to wrap it up. This seed here that we plant in the way of our words, when we sow words, when we speak words, I should say, when we plant this seed here, this seed has to go through all of our doubt, all of our, oh, I'm not sure, if I don't really believe that, Derek. I'm not, what is that about? This seed has to go through all the pressures of life, be it issues with abuse that we've dealt with as a child, all kinds of different things, people saying different things, and just life. This seed has to, this word that we speak or that we sow, that we're asking for, that success that we're looking for, it has to go through all of this stuff here. And all of this stuff that's attacking it, it's pressure. It's the way that we've grown up, contrary to our own understanding, or at least what I'm sharing right now. All of these things add pressure because they eventually prevent the seed from ever growing. But when we take the pressure off and allow a greater understanding, if you will, we can now come to a place where we can eliminate these things that are trying to affect the growth of this seed and the timeliness of this seed. That's your duty and my duty to guard this seed. So I've got to not blame others, but I've got to skillfully and willfully X certain things out of my life so that I know that with time and pressure, as promised, this seed is going to accomplish which that it was already sent out. I sent out the word, I spoke the word, this is what I'm asking for, and with time and pressure, with time and your focus, which is your pressure, you're going to get success, and that is a promise. Folks, I'm out of here. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for your comments, good or bad. Thank you, folks. I'm out here. Good day.